Our topic is developmental milestones. So before starting our topic, let's discuss what is the difference between growth and development. Growth is net increase in size or mass of tissues, whereas development is maturation of functions. Now, by this definition, you can see that growth is a quantitative aspect and development is a qualitative aspect. Now, let's see what are the factors affecting development. There can be various factors which affect development, like prenatal factors, maternal factors, neonatal factors, and postneonatal factors. Prenatal factors can be genetic like Down syndrome, and maternal factors can be alcohol, drug abuse, pregnancy-induced hypertension, hypothyroidism, malnutrition of mother, torch infections, chorioamnionitis, and the quality of maternal care a mother receives. Now, what is torch infection? Torch infection is a group of infections. T for toxoplasmosis, other like syphilis, R for rubella, C for cytomegalovirus, and H for herpes. In this, O can be considered other, like syphilis and AIDS. Now, torch is also abbreviated as starch. S for syphilis, T for toxoplasmosis, A for AIDS, R for rubella, C for cytomegalovirus, and H for herpes. Okay. Now, let's see what can be the neonatal risk factors. That is the risk factors which a baby encounters in his neonatal period. If a baby is of low birth weight, that is LBW, he can have difficulty in attaining his developmental milestones. Now you remember what is LBW? As I told you in earlier class, LBW, low birth weight, is when a baby is born with weight less than 2500 grams. Another neonatal factor can be neonatal seizures, that is convulsion. If a baby is having convulsion, even then his neurodevelopmental milestones can be delayed. Now, another is post-neonatal factors. This can be nutritional factors, like a baby should receive proper vitamins, iron, iodine. Iodine is very important. Iodine is important for thyroid functioning. Now, any acquired insult to brain, like trauma, like infections of brain. What can be the infections of brain? Meningitis, encephalitis, cerebral malaria, etc. Now, another is endocrine factors. If a baby has congenital hypothyroidism, he is supposed to show delayed developmental milestones. Another factor is sensory inputs from eyes or ears. If a baby has impaired vision or impaired hearing, even then he can show delayed milestones. Now, there are certain social factors also. These are related to parenting, related to poverty, related to lack of stimulation or violence or child abuse. So, these are the factors you see which play an important role. Now, let's see the milestones. What are the timing in which a baby should achieve these milestones? So milestones are divided into 4 categories: key, gross motor, fine motor, language, and social milestones. Okay, so there are 4 categories: gross motor, fine motor, language, and social. First of all, let's see key, gross motor milestones. So I'm telling you the average age at which a baby should attain so and so milestone. At the age of 3 months, a baby should be able to hold his neck. At birth, the baby does not have neck control, and if we hold the baby, the head lags down, so you have to support the head of the baby, the neck of the baby. But by 3 months of age, a baby can hold his neck on his own. At 5 months, a baby can roll over. You must have seen babies of less than 5 month age. If you put them on a cot, they remain there. They use their hands, they move their hands and legs, but they don't roll over. Roll over means palatna. So at the age of 5 months, a baby can roll over. At the age of 6 months, a baby can sit with own support. That is, the baby will sit and he will put his both hands forward to support himself. It is also called sitting in tripod fashion. Sitting in tripod fashion. Now, at 8 months, a baby can sit without support. At 6 months, sit with support. At 8 months, sit without support. Now, standing. At 9 months, a baby can stand with support. That is, a baby can hold a table, a sofa, a bed, or someone's hand and stand. But at 12 months, he can stand alone. He can stand without support. And also he can creep well. Creep well, घुटने के बल चलना. He can creep well. And he tries to walk. He tries to walk, but often he falls down. At 15 months, a baby is able to walk alone without falling, and he can creep upstairs. That he can सीढ़ी चढ़ना, घुटने के बल सीढ़ी चढ़ना. He can creep upstairs. At 18 months, that is at 1.5 years of age, a baby can run. At 2 years, he can walk up and down stairs with 2 feet per step. You must all have seen babies climbing the stairs with 2 feet per step. And a baby can jump at the age of 2 years. At 3 years, he can ride a tricycle and he can climb stairs with alternate feet. At the age of 4 years, he can hop on 1 foot. Hop on 1 foot, एक पैर से उछलना. Hop on 1 foot. So these are the gross motor milestones. Now there is a term called hand regard. What is hand regard? Hand regard is that child observes his own hands very intently. This is called hand regard. It's persistent after 20 weeks is abnormal. Now, when is hand regard normal? Hand regard is normal between 12 to 20 weeks. And it is abnormal if it persists after 20 weeks. Now let's see what are the main fine motor milestones. At the age of 4 months, a baby shows bidextrous reach. Bidextrous reach is trying to hold an object with both hands. दोनों हाथ से पकड़ना. 4 months. Bidextrous reach. At 6 months, a baby shows unidextrous reach, holding with one hand. If you give a small toy or a teddy bear to a baby of 4 months, he will try to catch it with both hands. But after 6 months, if you give him a ball or a small object which fits into his hand, he can hold it with one hand. He'll try to hold it with one hand. Now there is a term called pincer grasp. Pincer grasp is nothing but चुटकी से पकड़ना और चुटकी से उठाना. At 9 months, baby has immature pincer grasp. But at 12 months, a baby has mature pincer grasp. At 15 months, a baby imitates scribbling. And at 18 months, a baby can actually scribble. Now, at the age of 2 years, a baby can show you vertical and circular stroke with a pen or pencil. And at 3 years, he can copy a circle. If you draw a circle and tell him to draw a similar one, he can more or less copy the circle. At 4 years, he can copy a cross. And at 5 years, he can copy a triangle. So exactly copying a triangle or copying a circle, this is not very mandatory, because this depends on the education level or the input you provide him. A child who has never visited school, you don't expect him to copy a triangle. So again, these things are relative. So when can you expect a baby to draw a cube or a square? A baby of 4 years can draw a square, and 10 or 11 years of age, he can draw a cube. Now let's see the social milestones. At the age of 2 months, a baby shows social smile. Now what is a social smile? Social smile is a baby smiles back when you talk to him. At 3 months, the baby recognizes mother. At 6 months, he shows stranger anxiety. Before 5 or 6 months, if anyone holds the baby is not anxious. He is cool. But after 5 or 6 months, the baby recognizes that this person is my acquaintance, this person belongs to my family, and this person is a stranger. So if any stranger holds him, he becomes anxious and begins to cry. At 9 months, a baby waves bye-bye, and at 12 months, he comes when called. That is, he can understand. If you call him, baby, come, he can understand you and he follows your instruction. At the age of 18 months, a baby can copy parents in task. If a baby sees his mother brooming the floor, sweeping the floor, he tries to do similar things. That is, he copies the parents. At 2 years, he can ask for food, drink, that he can express what he desires. He can pull people to show toys, that he can interact pretty well. At the age of 3 years, he knows full name and gender. And at 4 years, you can expect him to play cooperatively in a group. At the age of 5 years, he can dress and undress with a little help, and he can also follow simple instructions like helping in household tasks. Now the last category is of language milestones. At the age of 1 month, a baby is alert to sound. At 3 months, he coos. What is coos? Coos is musical vowel sound. At the age of 4 months, a baby can laugh loud. At the age of 6 months, he can speak monosyllables. This is very important. Monosyllables are single words like ba, da, pa. This is called monosyllable. And at age of 9 months, baby can speak bisyllable like mama, papa, dada, baba. This is bisyllable. At the age of 12 months, he can speak 1 to 2 words with proper meaning. And at the age of 18 months, his vocabulary increases to 8 to 10 words. At age of 2 years, he can frame simple sentences using 2-3 words. And at the age of 3 years, he can ask simple question like, where are we going? Give me this. At the age of 4 years, he can say a song or a poem, or he can tell simple stories. He can narrate a story to you. At the age of 5 years, he can ask meaning of words. That what does this mean? What does that mean? Now there are certain red flag signs in child development. That is signs of danger. Like if there is no visual fixation by 2 months, you should be alert that something is wrong. If there is no vocalization by 6 months, if a baby has attained the age of 6 months and he is not vocalizing anything, not even cooing, then there is something wrong. If the baby is not sitting without support by 9 or 10 months, then you can call it a developmental delay, and you should try to find out the causes and treat accordingly. If a baby is not standing alone by 16 months, or he is not walking alone by 18 months, then the parent and doctor should be alert and find the relevant cause. In our last class, I had given you notes on anthropometry. So let's revise it once. The parameters used for assessing growth are weight, height, mid-arm circumference, chest circumference, and head circumference. So coming to weight, what instrument you should use is liver or electronic weighing scale for neonates and infants, and it should have accuracy of 10 grams. Now this is a weighing scale for children. It is liver weighing scale, and this is a spring balance. This is a spring balance. This is mostly used by community health workers. This is a table which shows the average growth velocity at different ages. Like in the initial 4 months of age, a baby gains 30 grams per day on an average. Now this table shows the expected weight of a baby. You can roughly calculate it also by the formula shown, that in the first year, age in months plus 9 by 2, 2 to 6 years, age in year into 2 plus 8, 6 to 12 years, age in year into 7 minus 5 divided by 2. Next comes height. The instrument used is infantometer and stadiometer. Now infantometer is for a baby who is not yet standing on his own, not yet standing erect, and stadiometer is for a baby who can stand straight. This is the method shown how we measure height or length by a infantometer. and this is measuring height by a stadiometer. This chart shows height velocity. Now, how can you calculate the expected height? You can calculate the expected height in centimeters by multiplying the age in years by 6. Age into 6 and adding 77. Age into 6 plus 77. Now head circumference, you should use a non-stretchable tape. This is the method shown. You should position the tape just above the eyebrows, above the ears and around the biggest part of the back of head, that is occipital prominence. So you should encircle the occipital prominence and supraorbital ridges. So your goal is to locate the maximum circumference of head. At birth, you should notice that at birth, head circumference is larger than chest circumference. Okay, and the difference is around 3 centimeters. Now at 9 months to 1 year, it becomes equal. Head circumference and chest circumference become equal. Now in preterm, it can be larger by more than 3 centimeter as compared to the chest circumference. This is the growth velocity of head circumference. In first 3 months, it grows by 2 centimeters per month. And after that till 1 year, it grows 2 centimeter plus per 3 months. Now this is mid upper arm circumference. This is the method shown to measure upper arm circumference. It is also abbreviated as MUAC. You should determine the point over the anterior surface of arm midway between the acromion of shoulder and olecranon of elbow. And while you are doing this, the patient's arm should be bent at a right angle. Now, what analysis you can make? During 1 to 5 years, it should be somewhere between 15 or 17 centimeters. And if the mid-arm circumference is less than 12.5 centimeters, it is severe malnutrition. And between 12.5 and 13.5 centimeter, it is moderate malnutrition. Now there are several methods like the Bangle test. It is a fiberglass ring with an internal diameter of 4 centimeters. You try to slip up the arm. You try to slip this bangle up the arm, and if it passes above the elbow, it suggests that upper arm is less than 12.5 centimeter. Upper arm circumference is less than 12.5 centimeter, and the child is malnourished. Okay. Now there is another method. It is called Shakir tape method. It is also a fiberglass tape with color coding. Red color means less than 12.5 centimeter, yellow color means 12.5 to 13.5 centimeter, and green more than 13.5 centimeter. This method is mostly used by paramedical workers to assess the nutritional status. Now there is a concept called target height. Target height is the expected adult height for a person. For males, it can be calculated as father's height plus mother's height divided by 2 plus 6.5. The answer comes in centimeter. And for girls, it can be calculated at father's height plus mother's height divided by 2 minus 6.5. So today we have completed growth and development chapter. Please go through the matter in your books and through the matter I have provided. We'll be meeting in the next class. Till then, bye.